Welcome, everyone, to the completely unnecessary podcast for Tuesday, December 8th. It's Christmas season, holiday season, 2020. That's Ian Ferguson.
I'm here.
I'm Pat Contry, feeling worn out. On the show today, we'll be talking about lots of fun stuff. We're talking about Warner Brothers movies coming to HBO Max, same day as theater in 2021. Sony's internal leaked report about people preferring single-player games. And we'll ponder things like, what if Game Boy games come to the Switch Online? What do we want to see? Maybe voicemails, Q&A. Ian, how was your weekend? What did you end up doing?
What did I end up doing? I worked. It's a work weekend.
Work?
It's December. It's the busiest time of the year for Luna. So just busy. Yeah, other than that, not a whole lot. Vonnie and I started watching the new episodes of Pokemon they put on TV. It's a bad show, but I like it. It's like mashed potatoes. It's comforting. It's not complex. Very simple.
I wouldn't call mashed potatoes bad, though. I mean, bad for you, but
they're not bad. They're
tasty mashed potatoes.
They're easy and simple and quick. I made split pea soup.
Why don't you watch Unsolved Mysteries? All the episodes are on YouTube.
I've watched like the first 6 or 7 seasons of Unsolved Mysteries.
Is that the classic seasons? Up to
like
93.
I've watched. I did that a few years ago. They put those on Amazon Prime, and
update.
Vonnie and I tore through most of those pretty quickly.
Well, now though, unfortunately, on Amazon Prime, it's like a deal with IMDb or something. So now there's like full 3-minute commercial breaks. It's like you're watching on TV. So I prefer everyone watch them on YouTube. It's official, the same releases. You can watch them on YouTube right there. You only get like the one commercial maybe in 45 minutes. I've been falling asleep to them again like I did a couple years ago. And I think it screwed my sleep a little bit, but I haven't been taking the CBDs. So it's like Robert Stack's voice calms me.
Yeah.
Talking about missing and dead hitchhikers.
It's calming. Once they get to like the stories where they're reuniting people, that's where I can.
I never said that, Ian. You don't like the happy ending after there's death and mayhem for a half hour. You don't like the one positive palate cleanser.
Right? I don't.
It's teary-eyed. Do you have a soul? Do you don't want people to be happy and reunited after like being torn away from their mother's arms 30 years before?
I have no soul. No soul.
No, I'm serious. Like, what the hell? Like, why don't you like that? You never got choked up watching one of those ever?
No. I find them to be a little tough to watch.
A little tough to watch?
Yeah.
It's tough to watch people being reunited.
It's awkward. I mean, it's awkward to watch. I'm happy that they got reunited. I don't think we need to have cameras on it.
Well, that's the only reason that they got this. The only reason that's they're on TV. Otherwise, they wouldn't know.
I realize. It's very tough. It's,
okay. You don't like the public display thing. Okay. This weekend, what did I do? I'm putting together an NES Punk video, so I was going to edit that. It probably won't be done by this weekend, which is the NES Marathon 10th annual, benefiting Feeding America.
December 12th.
Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific. That's 1 Eastern. And then, what is that? 12 Central. Then Mountain. I don't know what Mountain Time's on anymore. I have no idea.
Melon Time?
Daytime savings. I don't know where Mountain Time or Arizona is at the same time now in Arizona. I don't know. Let's just get rid of. Can we get rid of this next time when we spring back? That's it. We're done. We're just done.
That's what I would prefer. We don't need it.
Fall back, spring forward. No, we spring forward.
We spring ahead. Spring ahead.
Spring forward, fall back. So after we spring forward, let's be done with this thing. Come on, let's do it. Anyway, so it's a good cause. We're still looking for sponsors, last minute sponsors. Go to nesmarathon.com, which will redirect to the donation site, and then we're almost at $3,000 right now.
Excuse me.
And then Ian's verklempt. And then if you donate at least $100, there will be a chance for you to select a game for us to play. Otherwise, we'll spin the wheel. Every like $500, we'll spin the wheel and see what comes up. Ian will be defending his pro wrestling title. Tom and Lisa demanded it in their donation. He must bring the belt. The IC belt has not been defended for a while. And then we'll have fun. We'll have a lot of fun. And it's going to be potentially, knock on wood, featured on Twitch's page. So it'll be lots of eyeballs on it. And it's for a great cause. A lot of people are suffering this year. A lot of people are going hungry, which is bad. And especially in the U.S., it's embarrassing. Yeah, let's do something good. Something good,
Let's do some good stuff.
You know who's not doing good stuff? A Nintendo hacker sent to prison.
This hacker boy who's being sent to the jail. Hacker who stole proprietary information from Nintendo sentenced to 3 years in prison. Ryan Hernandez pled guilty to federal crimes related to a Nintendo computer hacking scheme. He had to pay $259,323 to Nintendo in damages. The 3 years is for federal crimes related to his computer hacking scheme, but also possession of child pornography found on digital devices. So it's not just the Nintendo stuff.
He got off light then, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So this sounds like that's total slime ball. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, from what I read from the story, Nintendo and the FBI, when they first caught him when he was like he was a minor, he was like 16. They said, "Okay, knock it off. We'll let it slide," and he didn't. He didn't let it. He didn't let it slide. Like Nintendo let it slide, but he kept doing it. So I have no sympathy at all for this person, even before the CP stuff. None.
Yeah, none. No reason to feel any sympathy for this person. Seems like a big jerk.
Disgusting.
When besides the child pornography.
Say it again, Ian. So we were kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah. That's obviously that's it right there. That's all you need to be a bad person. But then if you are underage and you get caught hacking and a company gives you a second chance.
Yeah, this is people that Nintendo is upsetting a lot of people right now. This is where Nintendo is trying to do the right thing. They're like, oh, it's a kid. Let it go.
Yeah, fucking maybe go. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. Maybe I'll get caught again. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't keep pushing the fucking envelope.
According to the records filed in the case in 2016, while still a minor, Hernandez and an associate used a phishing technique to steal credentials from a Nintendo employee who were exploited to gain access to and download confidential Nintendo files related to its consoles and games. That stolen information, including pre-release information about the anticipated Nintendo Switch console, was leaked to the public. In October 2017, following an investigation into the hack, FBI agents contacted Hernandez and his parents at their California residence. Hernandez promised to stop any further malicious activity and confirmed that he understood the consequences of any future hacking. Well, apparently not.
He didn't.
Apparently not. And then they take your computer and they find some bad stuff on it as well because of this. You idiot. You absolute moron. Holy God. You got a golden ticket and you just pissed all over it. Wow. So he returned to do this from June of 2018 to 2019. Hernandez returned to his malicious activities, hacking into multiple Nintendo servers and stealing confidential information about various popular video games, gaming consoles, and developer tools. He boasted about his hacking exploits on several online and social media platforms. That's smart, such as Twitter and Discord, and leaked some of the stolen information to others. There you go. Yeah, online chat. So like he was saying, "Come arrest me, come get me." FBI, what do you expect is going to happen? And so the FBI got him. There you go. Godspeed, you fucking idiot. That's the only thing I could say. Oh, man. Well, that's where Nintendo tried to do the right thing, but Nintendo's public image currently is taking a couple of hits for a couple different things. You want to talk about this? Nintendo shutting down their Splatoon tournament.
Yeah, Nintendo has not done a particularly good job of looking good to the public recently. We talked about the Melee tournament getting shut down. Over the weekend, an official Splatoon live tournament had its stream canceled. It wasn't the tournament, I don't believe, but the live stream was canceled. They said that it was due to executional challenges, but in reality, many people think it was because most of the teams in the, I think it was top 8, had free Melee, the hashtag free Melee in their team names, and they think that this probably upset Nintendo. No way to know for sure, but I can't see Nintendo particularly wanting to give airtime or a stage to that issue, since that has plagued them for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're poking the bear there, using the names.
And Nintendo also apparently sent a cease and they shut down sales for charity-focused Joy-Con designs. I believe that were honoring Etika, the streamer who passed away this past year. I don't know, because of copy or the
trademark of using
trademarks.
Joy-Con. That's what I read. This was a little bit weird to me because it wasn't just like, oh, you're not allowed to sell Joy-Con, slip covers and things, because everyone does that, right? That's not. I mean, I think it was specifically. It's called Joy-Con Boys. And I think that's where Nintendo was like. That's where they said you can't do that. There was an article I saw with an interview of the guy running it who kind of said that. It's like, well, we have to redesign this, so it wasn't as harsh as I think is what people claimed it to be. But with all the
it's just timing, everything coming one after another, making
bad timing.
It's making Nintendo look petty. And while with nuance, I do understand the big house stuff to a degree. It's upsetting that Nintendo isn't stepping in and trying to do anything for the affected communities, the fan bases. They haven't had anything to do all year because of COVID. If that was really a big deal to Nintendo and they cared, they could have at least reached out and tried to do a different tournament.
Sure.
But shutting that down, shutting the live stream down, shutting down these Joy-Cons, it's all over IP, which Nintendo is extremely picky about.
Yeah, they're touchy about it. It would be nice to work to. Hopefully, I mean, it sounds like they're going to allow this to go forward. From what I saw, like it's just they got to redesign these Joy-Con shells, and not use I guess the word Joy-Con on. I think that's the one thing there, because that's trademarked. But I wish there was a way to get ahead of this. If this could have been set up, this would have been a lot of good PR for Nintendo to set this up. And like, okay, go forward with that. But who knows if Nintendo wants to deal with this at all? Many of them it's like small potatoes. But either way, it's not looking good for Nintendo right now with some of this stuff.
No, Nintendo needs to. I've said it before. They need to work on their not social media presence, but their community outreach, I guess, is what I'm saying. They have lots of fans for these games that have developed vibrant competitive scenes, and sure, they don't have to do anything with it if they don't want to, but it would only help them to, I think, foster that. Get out ahead of it.
Like with the Metroid, was it remake? That it was AMR2? Is that the word? AM2R. Which one was it? Anyway, with things like that, I think part of it is that they get hit with it without knowing Nintendo. Like, okay, we got to clamp this down. Not that if the developer came to them and said, "Hey, I'm making this game," they would have said, "Well, you shouldn't." But if there was a way, just think of a way to work together before this stuff hits, before it gets to the point where Nintendo's like, "Well, you went behind our backs." If there's a way to work alongside some of the community, obviously that would be better. And they could even say, "All right, you're doing this Slippy thing. Just to let you guys know, you can't use it for any official thing publicly, or else we're gonna get you," until they do it and then get it. Well, then again, they warn them. So I don't know. I'm just spitballing, but it seems like Nintendo and the community are really butting heads right now when it comes to stuff, and it's unfortunate because obviously people love Nintendo's products and games. Obviously, a lot of people built careers on that. So I don't know. Hopefully, it gets better in 2021. If you're a fan of boxing, Ian, you can see Logan Paul step back in the ring. His brother Jake Paul just knocked out NBA slam dunk champion. Oh God, I can't remember his name. It happened 2 weeks ago. It was a meme. So he and Jake Paul called out Conor McGregor like that would be a good idea. But for some reason, there's going to be an exhibition boxing match in February between Logan Paul, who drew with KSI once, which I watched on that fight. He lost, but it was a draw. Then the second time, it was decision win for KSI, I believe. So he's going to fight Floyd Mayweather, one of the best boxers ever of all time, in February. Floyd Mayweather is obviously weighs a lot less than Logan Paul. He's 43 years old. I don't care if he was 53 years old. This is a joke that this is happening. And even Dana White, who says some stupid things sometimes, but he's a big boxing fan, says that this is a state of boxing, unfortunately, where like the big events are these absolute jokes. And he's right to an extent. Boxing has been getting better the past couple of years. But I don't know. I don't understand how it went from YouTubers being loudmouths and filming dead bodies in Japan to now we're gonna have people like, why would you want to watch him box? Like, why? Why do you want to watch him box? That's not what he's known for. It's not how he, supposedly he's gotten better with his podcast, and it seems like he's turned over, like he's matured, as people are saying. But like, why do you want to follow this guy thinking, oh, I like a YouTuber, I think he can beat up someone in the ring? Like, what does that have to do with anything? I don't get it. Mayweather, for him, it's a paycheck. He doesn't have to train for the fight. He didn't really train for the Conor McGregor fight and carried McGregor, so he doesn't have to train for this. And if he wants to, he can knock out Logan Paul. He probably won't, but he'll put on a show, barely get touched by anything, and I don't understand this at all. It's a freak show. I mean, I'm going to check it out. I'm curious. It works. I mean, I'm not going to buy it probably, but I'll check it out. The highlights. It's insane to me.
I have no interest in it. In fact, up until you said this right now, because I saw Jake Paul was in the news recently for boxing, I thought this was another Jake Paul match. I just realized that Logan.
It was Nate Robinson he knocked out.
Yeah.
Jake Paul.
The Jake Paul and Logan Paul. I get the two of them confused. And yeah, Logan Paul
is the older, slightly more mature one. Jake Paul is the idiot who just did helped loot the freaking mall in Arizona during the protests and got arrested.
Yeah, he got raided by the Guns and Firearms or something about a month ago too.
He's even worse than his big brother.
Yeah,
he's worse.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, hey, Logan Paul turning over a new leaf. I'm like, wait a second, this is the guy that just 2 or 3 years ago we were covering for filming a dead hanging body in a suicide forest in Japan.
But it seems like Logan Paul sees that COVID's like a threat, and then Jake Paul did an interview saying that it's it's like a hoax.
Yeah,
so it's there's going to be a better Paul. Either way, they're both getting in the ring, and idiots are paying money to watch them box when they have no business being in the ring.
Unfortunately, the way things work dictates that there does have to be one Paul that is slightly better than the other Paul.
Hey, I understand the YouTube algorithm has changed, and the past few years things have been different. The money is what it used to be, but there's still brand deals. But I guess you want that money to get in the ring. You know what? I'll get in the ring with someone for $500,000. A YouTuber that doesn't like me, I'll do that. Why not? Fuck it, I'll do it. So if someone's gonna pay, let's do it. Who out there doesn't like me? That wants that can support people buying a pay-per-view. It can't be just a random person because no one cares about you. It's got to be a big YouTuber. Who should I fight? There's a list of 4 people probably want to fight me. Yeah, it's a freak show. It's a freak show, Ian. All right, what else is going on? Oh, you know what's going on, Ian?
Pins, books.
Holidays are here. So you got pins and books and enamels and RBI baseball stickers, the unlicensed ones, at ultimatenintendo.com.
Shoits.
If you want to make sure you get, if you order a book, you want to get it before Christmas. Things are always slower when you ship things a week before Christmas because it gets nuts. I would probably order it to be safe by this Saturday the 12th. Order your stuff, especially the books, because they come from the warehouse and they get locked down. The warehouse isn't just my stuff; it's a lot of people's stuff that they got to get out there. So make sure you get your order in by, I say, the 12th. That gets you a good 12 days before Christmas in order to get your books at ultimatenintendo.com. So thank you so much.
Order your goods.
I'm also on Cameo. If you want a Christmas message, cameo.com/PatContry. And if you're in Europe, you want the Super Nintendo books, go to pukapukagames.co.uk. Our pal Kieran there selling those. Ian, prototype news. Final Fantasy Proto-ROM was released by Hidden Palace. This came from our friend Stefan's batch o prototypes.
Batch o protos.
What was it, a month ago? Or we talked about it was 25 Super Nintendo NES prototypes?
It could have been a month ago. It could have been 6 months ago.
The time doesn't matter anymore.
I would not be able to tell you. Time does not exist.
Does it feel like December to be? I mean, be perfectly honest. No, does it feel like December?
No. 2020 is like a stamp.
This feels
like the year existed. It happened.
It feels like if it wasn't for the weather, it could be September 12th right now. It can be like 3 months ago or 2 months ago. It's so weird. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, that's right. So it's an early prototype. It says in the article that it likely reflects a stage in development where the text was starting its second translation pass. So a lot of the text is going to look different than the finalized text. There are some spelling errors. For instance, ghost is spelled wrong. Attack names are still generic. But this is interesting. It's a very early look at what would become Final Fantasy in the U.S.
That's all you have to say.
That's really all I've got to say.
You talk about the image where it says, "Who want to learn the spell? Who want to learn the spell?
Who want to learn the spell?"
I wish that was the final version of the fantasy there. Nobody touches my
princess. Light warriors.
You impertinent guys. Wow, impertinent. I, Garland, will knock you all down in a minute. What's wrong with that? How did they change that? Impertinent's a great word. I got to add to my vocabulary.
That's a good one. Who want to learn the spell?
Who want to learn the spell? Who want to be a billionaire?
This would be fun to play. I think just for the text that they were saying that perhaps this was not being translated by a native English speaker. It may have been a person who from Japan who knew English secondarily.
I was going to say, because who wanna, impertinent is not a common word. Impertinent, adjective, not showing proper respect. Rude. So there you go. I got to add that to my vocab.
It's a good word.
I got to fit it into a certain N64 guidebook review somehow. Impertinent. Got to find who was impertinent in doing a game that was bad.
They say that it was possibly translated in-house at Square by Kaoru Moriyama. That's from an interview given by Frank Cifaldi on the unreleased localization of the sequel. That person also did the localization for the unreleased sequel that never came out. So I believe the English language that we see in that prototype is translated by the same person who did this.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that reminds me of Frank Cifaldi. Pat has prototype news. I can bring something to the table every now and then here. I'm not just some goofball who doesn't really know about stuff talking about it here, right? So someone on Twitter contacted me that in Canada, they got a Big Nose of Caveman game somehow. I don't know if it was eBay or they found it. The label was entirely different art.
Really?
It was a labeled game, different art. The manual was different art, and the poster, it looked like John Goodman. Almost from Flintstones. That's what it wasn't as goofy as the normal Big Nose of Caveman. And so I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And I looped in Frank, and Frank said, "Yeah, that's a prototype." And then when he put on the title screen, the guy said it said Galoob first, and Galoob put out Galoob put out the Game Genie, but then in Canada it was Comerica, in the U.S. it was Galoob. So like there's some relationship there. But so the title screen was different. And then Frank has obviously infinite prototype knowledge. He said that there were other prototypes that Comerica did that had it had a white box that was written on it, what it was. And Frank said that was similar to other ones he had seen from Comerica there. So there you go. Maybe it gets dumped. Not a huge amount of Big Nose the Caveman fans there. It's an all right game. It's not a bad game. The sequel is more like Sonic on a wheel. Big Nose freaks out.
Big Nose freaks out.
It's an interesting game. It's an interesting game. Trying to be Sonic on the NES there, but that's Pat's contributing something here. I'm not just a goofball with big hair, am I?
Yes, you are.
Yes, I'm contributing something, or yes, I have goofball.
You're a goofball.
Oh, Ian, you should have left it vague. Now I know you hate me. Then we have an Atari VCS update. So they had a weekend post saying, "Happy weekend, Atari VCS backers and fans." And they had a post, "Hello, backers. We have a quick update before the weekend. While we were still waiting for some of the joysticks, I guess to get through customs or arrive, we now have enough to get things going while we wait for the rest to arrive. The warehouse will begin sorting, packing, and shipping of Atari VCS hardware starting next week, according to order sequence and regardless of geography." So I guess you ordered it first. I don't care where you are. You're in Morocco, you're getting it first. International backers, please make sure you have a travel plug or adapter to make the US plug on the Atari VCS work in your country. Everyone, please also know that you will need an internet connection to activate your unit. Finally, watch for the campaign header on the Indiegogo page to switch to shipping. We will, of course, be in touch with more info and cannot wait for you all to get your Atari VCS units, joysticks, and controllers. There you go, Ian. It's going to be in people's hands. It happened.
Yay, everyone can hold it and be like, why did I do this? Why did I back
Well,
this?
I think people will find some weird use for this. It'll be an emulation device in sandbox mode. It's not
expensive.
But it's not just like a fucking, banana pie board inside. It's a fairly powerful, chipset. So it's got the Ryzen in there. So we'll see. I'm not saying this is the greatest in the world, but they're getting it out to people, as opposed to a couple other things that are just, we don't know what's going on. The Polymegas. Oh, I heard the Polymega got pushed back again after our podcast. Some said it got pushed back again to I think March from February. That's what I saw afterwards. I didn't see a link about that, but when you go to the website, let's do it. Let's go to the website right now, polymega.com. Orders will ship on 2/21. Was it that they were going to be people's hands on 2/21?
I don't know. That's whatever.
Okay. Someone said it got pushed back again, but we'll see. And then on the Amico side, you can watch a video of buttons being pressed with the machine on the controller as well. Husks of Amico consoles sit there on a desk, just thrown around, because we have no idea at what state the actual console's in right now for that. So there you go. We have one of these consoles getting into people's hands out of 3 for sure. So thumbs up, I guess. Is there any others that we're tracking at this point, or just really those 3?
No, I think it's just those 3.
Just those 3, because Analog will come out with their stuff. We know that. Playdate hasn't even done their pre-orders yet, but they're making them. We know that.
Right.
Those they have units in developers' hands, so we know that. All right. Is there anything else happening during this intro, or are we just cruising along here? We're cruising along, Ian?
Cruising right
Are you paying attention to the
along.
podcast, Ian? What's happening? I'm the one that thought that's out of it. Ian's the one. We can't have both of us out of it. One of us has to right the ship here.